So here's our application, and generally it works fine. Now there is a tiny issue when we place a new order. If you inspect your order reducer file, you will see that on purchase burger start, which of course is dispatched when we click on order, when we send the order to the server, we set loading to false. Now that doesn't make any sense at all, because here we want to set loading to true, and we had it set to true earlier in this course. I messed this up when refactoring the reducer. So this should of course be true. We want to show a spinner if we implement this functionality in our component when we are sending this to a server. So this is the first tiny improvement. Now there's another improvement. If we are talking about placing an order, let's build a burger there. Now let's log in first, submit this, and we are redirected here back to our front page. Now that shouldn't happen. We fixed this in the authentication section, that we should be redirected to checkout, and we were there for a fraction of a second, but somehow it then decided to redirect us back to the front page. So here we did correctly adjust set off redirect, but still it decided that a good place for us would be the front page. So this is something else I want to fix. Now the reason for this problem with this wrong redirection is that we do redirect in the off container. Here, this code, there we set or we use our redirect path to redirect the user. The problem is this happens in the off container, and in our app container, in our root app component where we render different routes for different authentication statuses, there when we are authenticated, we don't render the off component anymore. Hence the code in the off component, which would redirect us correctly to the checkout page, will never be used. So to fix this, we can reintroduce the off route into our set of routes in the authentication state. Now, of course, the disadvantage is that now authenticated users can visit the off page. On the other hand, they can't do any harm there. You might, of course, also be able to find other solutions to redirect anywhere else, but this is a quick and easy and safe solution to get back to the original behavior. Now, another issue we face is if I build a burger and I am logged in here, in that burger builder here, you will see that on certain screen sizes, the burger is positioned incorrectly. It's not centered. The reason for this is that the burger has a width which is adjusted to the viewport, but it's always inside a div which takes 100% of the width of its wrapping element, and that would be this div, which also dictates a certain width, 80% in this case, the checkout summary. So the checkout summary here is dictating a certain width for our burger, and that is influencing how our burger is displayed here. To fix that, we can go to our components, to the checkout summary. We can find it under order, checkout summary, and there, where we set the width to 500 pixels for wider displays. In the end, I don't want to do that. I want to stick to the 80% I have by default. And now with that, if we go back to the application and we build a new burger, I am logged in here already, this burger should now be nicely centered on all device screens. So this is looking much better now. So now the burger is looking good all the time, no matter where we're viewing it. Now there's one other visual glitch I want to get rid of, and that is on small devices. If we open our site nav and I click on a link, it navigates there correctly and without errors, but it doesn't close the site nav. I have to manually do that. Now, of course, it should close the site nav whenever we click a link here. Now, to fix this, we have to go into our site drawer, where we in the end have our site drawer here, and there we have the navigation items. And now we want to ensure that whenever we click a navigation item, we essentially close that drawer. So we essentially want to emit or execute this closed method, the method we get on the closed prop in this site drawer component. Now to do that, we could, for example, simply listen to a click anywhere on this site drawer. That of course would mean that not only clicking on links would close it. We could also go into the navigation items and try to register on Click Listener there too. I'll go with the general closing strategy here. So on a click on the site drawer in general, let's try to then reach out to props closed, which should be handled in the parent component of this component, and close the side menu. With that change in place, let's open the site drawer. If I click anywhere on it, it closes, but that should be all right. If I click on orders, it therefore also closes. So now we got a site drawer which does work as we would expect it to work, closing when we do navigate around. These were a couple of visual glitches we had and fixes to them, so that now our application looks and behaves nicer and more as we would expect it.